Hey everyone, today I want to share how to build an AI-enabled app that allows you to upload an image and use Google Search. It's called AI Appraiser. All you need to do is upload an image and then it values any household item for you. Let's go ahead and dive in and see how it works. Here's the web application. We've got the input panel on the left side where you can upload an image, provide an optional description, and specify a currency. On the right side, you're going to see the valuation results. Let's go ahead and try a couple items. Start first with a lamp. And let's now give it a shot. Drum roll, please. Perfect. So we have a value, reasoning, and some sources to back this up. Let's try something else. I'm going to reset. And let's try a truck this time. So uploaded it. Let's see. And there we go. We have a valuation. Notice that the reasoning says that the vehicle's estimated to be between 2009 and 2014. And this is where that optional description could come in. We could then say specify it's a 2011 model. Let's try that again. And it'll give us a more refined estimate. We could do things like specifying the trim, et cetera, just extra details that it might not be aware of purely from the photo. Perfect. Okay, so we have a refined estimate here. Let's try one more image. Let's give a hammer a go. And let's try a different currency this time, Canadian dollar. All right, so we have an estimate and some sources. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the architecture of the application. I am going to walk you through a blog post briefly. Let's take a look at the architecture diagram here. This is all in Medium if you want to follow up and read more about it. The front end is written with HTML, Tailwind, CSS, and HTMX. I like this stack. It's nice and clean and concise. The back end is using Fast API to serve the routes of the application, and Gemini is our model. And here we see the architecture where Cloud Run is powering both the front end and back end. We can optionally upload the images to a Google Cloud Storage bucket. So this will support some enterprise scenarios if you want to do some logging or other things. You don't have to do that. You can purely upload, handle it all in the front end and access Gemini. So this article walks through all the code in more detail. Let's go ahead and do this ourselves. Let's walk through the project. Here we have the main file where everything happens, main.py. Let's walk through some of the different components here. So here we see at the top configuration, various parameters, the project ID, the model ID, and so on and so forth, an optional storage bucket. Next, we have data models. This is pretty cool. This is where the response is structured. Remember how we saw in the UI that you have a estimated value, a currency, the reasoning, etc. So this is what we use to really bring it all together into a response and specify what that's going to be. We specify these data models up front. We have our Fast API application and a couple helper functions that will use the Google Cloud APIs to upload files and such to storage, or use a base 64 encoded image so we can actually pass the bytes rather than the URL if we'd like to go that route. Here's the estimate value method. And notice the very detailed prompt here. So we provide a evaluation prompt that specifies that the model is a professional appraiser. We tell it also some details such as looking at the condition, the branding, the year and the age to really help nudge the results towards looking at all of the information available. So we perform that. Here we are using the Gen AI SDK. We're calling client.models generate content. If we are accessing a storage bucket, notice we have from URI, that's going to directly access that storage URL. Or if we can access the bytes, either way is fine. Also notice that we have specified a Google search tool, and in the configuration that we pass the model, we are passing in that tool. So we're actually performing two different queries here. So the first one gets a unstructured response. Then we perform a second task where we have that valuation text and we bring it into that structure. So see that we parse this text into a JSON object that adheres to the schema that we provided. And to do that, we specify a different configuration that points to that response schema that we specified earlier. And we call Gemini passing in this parsing configuration. And that's it. So that's really the model side of things. Let's now show the application in a little more detail, where we have two endpoints. So or rather routes where you're accessing the web application. If you say /upload image, this is where the functionality to upload the image occurs, of course. We also have a value endpoint, and this is where when you click the estimate button, it is going to then call Gemini, and this is sort of the wrapper that makes that all happen. Finally, we have a root endpoint, and this just reads the HTML file that has the layout for the application. And that's it. And this is all running a fast API server. There is a Docker file that is very brief that allows for easy deployment of the application. Once you're finished writing an application like this, you would use Cloud Run to deploy it. And it's as simple as this. We run the application to run the deploy command, specify the source, the region, and some different environment variables, and we're good to go. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of AI Appraiser. Have a great day.